Hi everyone, it's me, Jordan here, and today I'm going to talk about why I don't want to have partnership. Now, it doesn't have to do with what you think. Now, when a lot of men and women hear that somebody doesn't want to be a YouTube partner, the first thing they ask is why. Well, I think that there are a lot of non-partners, and then there are a lot of partners. But then there are sundry different partners in different statuses. You have partners that have been partnered back when partnership first came available, and it was something that you had to jump through, that you had to go through multiple things to get. And then there was partnership where anyone could get it as long as they met the criteria. Now, regardless of how one became partner, the one thing is that it's only a small majority on YouTube that are actually partnered. The majority of men and women on YouTube are not partnered. Now, I probably used a lot of borrowed words when I was saying this, but the point is, I never wanted to get into that. First, you had to have a certain number of watch time. Now, YouTube always undo how much watch time that a movie or movie should have. You know, at one point it would be this number, and they'd undo it, and it'd be this number, and they'd undo it. Why? Who knows why they do it? They just undo it. And if you were one of those channels that didn't have that particular watch time, you would lose your partnership. And you could be in good standing with community guidelines and copyright and terms of service and every other thing that you could be in good standing with. And if you didn't have the number of watch time on your movie or movies, your partnership went. But that's not even it. I'm not making a movie talking about how one gets partnership or how one can lose partnership. And it's probably more easier to lose partnership than it is to get it. Now, some might say that all you got to do is just enable partner. Yeah, but it doesn't actually doesn't give you the monetization or borrowed word, the Weird Guild making gift of the movie, but at least gets you on as partner if you just want to have the name partner. Now, all partners movies are subject to community guidelines in terms of service and copyright, like any other YouTuber, but the difference is that what makes one little thing different, not the same, is that they have to be looked at. That's right. All partner movies have to be looked at to make sure they actually are following the community guidelines and the terms of service and the copyright terms. Because you know how a lot of movies aren't, and especially after the special. So you can be in good standing with community guidelines in terms of service and copyright, and have some YouTube overseer, whatever you want to call them, make a mistake. All it has to do is make a mistake. Oops, I thought that movie violated YouTube community guidelines, or oops, my mistake, I thought that violated someone's copyright, or oops, my bad, I thought that violated terms of service. And next thing you know, your good standing is gone. If someone at YouTube made a mistake. And trust me, men and women making mistakes happens every day. Human beings are flawed. So we make mistakes. Big mistakes, small mistakes. But the thing is, it's mistakes. Now, everybody out there is like, yeah, that's a risk that can happen. Well, the risk goes up when you're a partner because you got to constantly have your stuff looked at. Now, it is possible to be a YouTube partner and not want to monetize your movies. Then they probably won't look at them when they're up after they're done being uploaded and forlayed. But let's go with a lot of them like to do. So I don't want to have my good standing taken away by someone at YouTube's mistake, you know. And trust me, that happens. Or it could go another way. Maybe it's not a mistake. Maybe the overseer at YouTube really, actually believes that the movie violates community guidelines. Or maybe he or she actually thinks that it violates terms of service. That doesn't mean to say it actually does or does not. In this scenario we're talking about, your movie doesn't actually violate any of the free, but someone at YouTube thinks it does. Then you lose your good standing. But being a YouTube partner, that's the big thing that I don't want to get into. I like to keep my interaction with YouTube very small. The only time I have any dealings with them is when something's not working on the webstead. But mostly after that, we kind of don't even talk to each other beyond that. I don't want to have to constantly always be, feedbacking them and emailing them. Oh yeah, partners think they think the email the gift is this big thing, but YouTube doesn't answer their emails even if they give it to you. But I don't always want to keep going through and worrying about, did someone at YouTube look at my movie and make a bad call on it, and there goes your community guideline. There goes your good standing. Something that partners basically, most likely, a lot of them bite their fingernails. They know they're in the right, but all it's got to take is someone at YouTube to say that they're not. Or let's go the other way. Let's say that their movies let's say their movies are looked at and YouTube thinks they're good. But somebody on YouTube thinks, wants to disagree with your fair use. And this constantly happens when you got men and women who do fair use, and they're always getting themselves. Your movie's been flagged for community guideline violations or copyright infringement or terms of service violations. Yeah, but that can easily happen to you if you're a non-partner as well. But it goes up when you're a partner, since a lot of partners do fair use. And I'm not here to talk about what fair, and that's another thing that happens. When you're a partner, the more name known you are, if you're making more weird guild from the movie or movies, having advertisers advertise on those movies, the more that some want to try to get from. And one of the ways is sometimes they try to hurt them or take their weird guild is to claim that their copyright was infringed upon, when it was actually fair use. But I'm not here to get in the whole copyright fights, fair use, fight, because that's been going on for many years. As long as fair use has been around, as long as copyright's been around. But all it's got to take is someone out there to say, I think you infringed upon my copyright, even though you were doing fair use. I need a portion of that weird guild. So, yeah. Between those two things and a bunch of other things, that's why I never want to be YouTube partner. Too many headaches, too many things you always got to be afraid of, too many things you can get in a bind with. Oh yeah, let's not forget about Google AdSense and that's a whole different saga and tale in itself. But that's it. I'm Jordan Long, and I'll see you later.